He don't get no reward,
No respect.
no enjoyment for it. And there's nobody else, and he don't get no reward,
No respect.
no enjoyment for it, and there's no return on it. Man's happiness don't mean nothing to nobody. The man's peace don't mean nothing to nobody. The man ain't appreciated, homie, till his presence is no longer there.
People need to know this though, because there's somebody out there watching this, a man that feel like he only as good as his ability to do, and he's suffering in silence. He don't feel appreciated, and when you don't feel appreciated, what's the point of even living?
You speak about mental health. Why is mental health so important to you?
Everything I just told you. One of the greatest artists in the world say he wanted to kill himself. That's why mental health is important.
But did you go to therapy? Did you go to seek to a counselor? Or you just figured this out on your own? Or you just sat down and had a conversation with Kevin Gates himself?
Yeah, I did a lot of inner work, but you gotta want to change.
Yes.
You can't go off what people tell you about what you need to change. You need to have that honest conversation for yourself.
Correct.
What gives me fulfillment? I'm showing the world, but mostly men, how to turn their pain into passion. Turn your pain and take your pain and turn it into purpose. You don't know who you touching when you do this.
See, I was listening to a little child. She said, I'm so tired of pouring in people's cups and don't nobody fill mine back up. I say, man, that sounds like a me and you problem, because I do that shit a lot. And I thought about it, man. I said, you know how much motherfucking juice you gotta have to pour into somebody and the countless people over and over and over and over again, and they don't pour back into you? You still got juice to give out, and then you got enough for you and yourself to survive. Man, you got the endless juice. You the one. Man, you gotta change the perspective sometimes. We want to pity ourselves, we want to baby ourselves, we want somebody to feel sorry for us, but at the end of the day, man, you change that perspective, you'll realize you're in a better position than you think. So I appreciate y'all that allow me to pour into y'all, and I appreciate the ones that don't pour back into me, because I get my juice directly from God. You know what I'm saying? So keep pouring back into y'all. So you look at it that way, you chose it. You don't want to be out here serving the juice to everybody. Ain't nobody supposed to give you none. You making it. You know what I'm saying? Love.
Everybody think the man is supposed to sacrifice his life.
I'd like to give more praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahshua Kwakadash, and double honors to the elders of GMS. Salutation to the elders and to the apostles and the brothers that labor in the truth and doing the work diligently day and night, night and day. Shout out to you sincere sisters who's loving Yahweh by Shem Yahshua, loving yourself, respecting yourself, loving your husband, respecting your husband, loving your children, and taking care of the home and doing the righteous things in the house of the Lord and trying your best to stay in positivity. So yeah, we have a short clip here, a YouTube short, which I thought was very interesting for anyone that's going through this, especially as a man. We know that men and women go through a lot of things on this planet. We know that a lot of people suffer in silence, man. We know that a lot of people are going through a mental sway, for lack of better words, and we know that mental plays a part of our growth and how we control our emotions. So I wanted to do this video to start off about this. I don't know if I'm gonna call this video emotional control or mental stability that hits black men and black women, or just people in general. But excuse me, I feel a little sick, y'all, so forgive me if my voice don't sound as how it is. It sounds a little groggy because I got a cold, so I'm trying to get this out. So yeah, so you see these guys telling a point of view and perspective of what mental health is, and what kind of control it takes on a man's soul. Because when you're no more in control of your emotions, anything goes. There's a high rate of suicidal. And most suicidal rates come from the white man. But us black folks, us Israelites, right? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. So it takes a toll on us, and sometimes, especially black men, when we suffer in silence, either two things can happen. Either you're gonna embrace it and get stronger, or you're gonna let it crumble and destroy you. And we've seen this countless of times. How many people we've seen lose their life, man? Look at the young man, Khalif Browder from the Bronx. A kid that was innocent, kind of find out he did not commit the crime. He was a pick-me to fulfill the jail systems, which was on Rikers Island. And what it did for him was him being a young kid, 16 years old, because when you're getting tried in the system at 16 years old, you go to the counties of all these states. So I think most states they put you at 16. And I know a lot of the youth detention centers, the youth detention centers, the DFYs, and I know other states call it different things, but they have them at 15 and down. So to make a long story short, the man went to a birthday party, I believe, and when he left, somebody had committed a crime during that time. So the lady that accused him was an old lady, so she didn't know who it was. She just said it was him. And when he came out with his two friends, it was school. They was young adolescents, man. High schoolers, man. Just joining time with their friends. Good kid. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, guys. So he was acquitted. He was accused of the crime, and a good kid. They had good grades in school, and he came from a little rough background. As we all come from, but he wasn't a bad kid. And he just couldn't understand, like, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. But it's not good enough. So they arrested the kid. They put him in the system. She said it was him. Then they put him. Then they put him in Rikers Island. Put him in, I think he was in C-74, C-76. I think maybe he was in the Brooklyn house, the Bronx house. I think he probably was in, he was on that company. Maybe, I think that was, I don't know how it is now. I don't know, that was two lower, two main. I don't know which one it is, right? But anyway, excuse me. He got, once he got into the cell, man, his innocence had to leave because he thought that by him being a good kid, everyone would say, nah, that's a good dude. Certain dudes be like, nah, we know you're a good dude. But in here, you can't live like that. Not everyone gonna see that same kind of view. The only way they're gonna respect you is when you putting in pain, putting in work. So when you're in that type of environment, it does a lot on your mental, man. It does a lot on your mental health, man. And while he was in there, he was getting abused by the COs. He was getting jumped by people. And he had to do certain things to certain people just so he could play PC. Just so he could, not because he was scared, it's that he don't want to be bothered with that bullshit. So when they had him on Rikers Island for like 42, 43 months, just like they did with my brother-in-law. They had him on Rikers Island for 43 months of a murder he didn't commit, and they found out that he didn't do it. They had enough evidence. They couldn't put him down, but they found a person who was behind it, even though they didn't do the murder, but they took them to go down for the murder, right? So they arrested the mother and the daughter behind this shit. The dude that got killed was his child's mother, which was behind the bullshit murder, So, like I said, funny things happen. Even though they didn't commit the murder, but the association and their confession And they proved it through text messages and all that, and they got him. They got him. Hold on, guys. Yeah, so and it's crazy, man. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. That's Simeon talking. They talking in Spanish. You know what I mean? Like, and you know the women they told to get loud and loud. You know, but they ain't bother me. I want y'all to hear me. You know what I mean? I know the sisters that they all right. They just talk to each other. But anyway, so when you had this type of toll, it does a lot to you, man. And Khalif had so much punishment in a short period of time, where those time was taken from him. He could have been doing something else constructive with his life. He still finished school. He went to college. He I think he was graduating college, or I think he got his bachelor's degree or something. But the mental aspect of it, he had demons still bothering him. You understand? He had demons still bothering him. And by him having demons, it took too much of him. So what he did, he committed suicide. And men go through so much. Women don't give a fuck about what you're going through. Other men don't give a fuck about what you're going through. The world don't give a fuck about what you're going through, because the world target us. But when we get our power back through our Lord, when Yahweh put this thing back into place, and nobody gonna say shit. Everybody gonna eat their motherfucking words. And mark my words as I'm telling you this. You know, and people gonna eat their words. People are going to suffer, man. For real, people are going to suffer, and they're gonna see. They're gonna find out the hard way. They want to be hard-headed and do more destruction to us. And they said, fuck it. They don't know their God. They don't know their history. They don't know their past. So they lost. So we might as well just do whatever we want to them, because they don't know who they are. Every culture know who they are. Every man of every nation know who they are, except the so-called black man and the brown man. We are the Hebrew Israelites, according to the Bible. Why is it so hard for people to understand that? And this is why we're going through what we're going through, because the love that Yahweh has given us, and he told us he loved us. He told us that he cared for us. He told us that he'll be there for us. You know? And the amount of love and the compassion that the Lord got for us, man, is unfathomable, it's unthinkable. The amount of love he has for us is you can't even comprehend the measure of his love. You can't even count it with a sand of grain if you wanted to. You know? And the reason why I'm saying this is because the Lord has never failed us. He always kept his promise. He always kept his ordinance. Even if the Lord knows that you're going through something, he knows what you're dealing with. He knows, man. So black men suffer in silence the most, man. I say the most because the world's against us. When we do have something, we sacrifice everything. Nobody appreciates it until you're dead and gone. And look, my father been dead and gone for 20 years, right? And I miss him. You know, I felt like a part of me took him for granted. And I miss him so much, man. You know, I miss my dad. You know what I mean? And even though he wasn't a perfect person, I knew that he had his ways, but I understood why he had his ways, because he know that this world don't give a fuck about black men. And he know that the black woman, she adds to that fucking hurt. You know, and she's not supposed to do that. When we suffer, you suffer. But guess what? Because of you, we're suffering. So that's that. But you don't get the high end of the suffering as much. But you're getting in now. It's catching up to you. You don't have no jobs. A million plus black women lost their jobs. You can't do OnlyFans like you used to because there's limitation restrictions, right? You can't get your Section 8 like you want to in the welfare. They're cutting it slowly and short. That's called gradualism, because they try to push this idea of this NWO. You know what I'm saying? All right, so yeah, that's why we going through what we going through, and most of the time the women are the ones that's poking the bear. We the bear, you're poking us and you provoke us and you do hideous things and you're sneaky. So when you're doing that should put a turmoil on a man's mind. So the only way you can defeat that is by controlling your emotions, and if you're in that situation with these type of women or men that's manipulative, and you got no choice but to manipulate. You got to manipulate the manipulator. That's how you get them. That's the only way you're gonna win. You can't trick them of being honest. You can't trick them of not saying anything, because they will flip shit on you. So it's gonna piss you off. So the best way you to do is you pray to the Lord, let the Lord take vengeance on them. And if you got no choice, you have to play that type of game with them. That's the only way you're gonna get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? Because manipulators know how to manipulate. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. So let's go to Proverbs, the 29th chapter. Right? Let's read the 18. The scripture says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he." There you go. So the reason why you're going through mental destruction and you have mental instability, right? You're unstable, is because you're not keeping the laws of God. You're not keeping the laws of the Most High. Keeping the laws of the Most High is what makes your life happy. Knowing that I got a power that loves me. He's telling us that he loves us through his word, through his prophets, through his Lord and Savior, through his only begotten Son, Salakia, which is our Lord and Savior. Okay? Says that where there's no vision, so there's no vision with us. That's why we're the last, or we're the first one to be hired, the last one to be, we're the last one to be hired, and we're the first ones to be fired. They discriminate us when it comes to anything, houses, cars, all that. The rates are different with blacks. It's in their clause, and we don't read them, we don't know it, and that's why we get fucked and done dirt in this planet, because nobody takes the time to investigate. Because these motherfuckers write so much laws and clauses for us. You're like, man, I ain't reading that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a game. It's a game. Right? Verse 22. An angry man stir up strife. Right? An angry man can cause many problems. I'm telling you. A furious man aboundeth in transgression. So you got an angry man that stir up problems. Then you got a furious man about it in transgression. So he's so furious, he worse than an angry man. An angry man, he gets so upset. But a furious man, he wanted to take it to that limit, to put hands on you, do whatever he got to do to fulfill his satisfaction of his fiery spirit. You know what I mean? He's got spurs on him. Verse 23, a man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. So if you got a lot of pride, man or woman, you're going down. You're going down. I'm sorry, I'm drinking my peppermint tea to help, my congestion, right? So you're going down, right? And let me go to 27. It says, an unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that's upright in the way is abomination to the wicked. There you go. It said in the Apocrypha too. The jealous and the good envy, the bad envy the good, and the good hates the bad. So you gotta stand up. You gotta stand up for some kind of righteousness. You gotta stand up for something. You cannot be in this world being lukewarm and being quiet. You gotta speak the fuck up. Yo, listen, I know when y'all heard me in my videos, the last 3 videos that I had, right? And I know I was going off, right? But it's because I was upset. I was very upset. Yes, I was angry. I was angry. But I had to control my emotions, so I wanted to do things, and I said things that I wanted to do. You know, I ain't gonna do those things to her, but like I said, at the end of the day, it makes you so frustrated with people because all you do is pour yourself out. You're poor, and you pour, and you give, and you give, and you give, and you get nothing back in return. You know, especially when you're doing that person, you're doing them wrong. You're doing them wrong. You know what I mean? I feel, when I talk about this person, I feel so hurt. You know what I mean? Because I taught this person, man. I taught them, and they chose to stay in my life. They was willing to stay in my life, and then they fucked that up and make me waste my time. You know, I should have stopped it once. I should have stopped it with her after I found out that she was still dealing with another guy. You know, but then after a while, you know, sometimes people try to get a fresh start, so I didn't really hold that against her. So she was like, I'm trying, I'm accepting the truth, and I want to do this, I want to be this, you know, and you know, I wanted to do whatever it is that I got to do for you, you know. I said, no problem. So I started treating her good. And I'm not saying in the beginning she wasn't sincere, but as time went on, she went back to her fucking ways. And she was doing shit like over and over. And it didn't make sense to me. It was like, why are you doing it? And then you confess, oh, I'm sorry, I know that you was polygamy with me. I know, and I canceled because I had to work and do things, man, to get money, man. But her being so anxious, so ready to have a good time, she goes and calls somebody else, and then they have the nerve to fucking tell me that, you know, which I ain't mad at it, but then I am mad at it because it's like, why couldn't you just say, all right, no problem, and I just hold on? Nah, you gotta move because you want the attention. She front like she don't want the attention, but she an attention seeker. She want validation. She wants to fulfill that void, and that's what gets me. I'm like, you always run to a man for voidance, to fill that voidance. I don't understand that. It wasn't I wasn't doing my part. I did my fucking part because every time I turn around, you keep coming back to me and coming back to me. And enough is enough. You're not gonna keep coming back, meaning, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm sorry, oh, I apologize. Then it's cool. Then, oh, I'm tired of that shit. No more. So, and I had to do what I had to do, man. You know, I wasn't trying to be mean to the girl, but fuck it. I gotta be tough. You can't come back in my life anymore. You're done. You know, and when I change my number, you ain't gonna know my number. You're not gonna know. I ain't giving it to you no more. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta speak to you from a distance. I don't even have the love that I once had for the girl. I gotta keep it from a distance. Even with the men of Israel. I'm sorry, let me go to Ephesians. I'm sorry, y'all. I stopped right here. Ephesians, I think the 6th chapter. In the 6th chapter. Or the 4th chapter, 24th verse. Yeah, it'll come right here. This is Ephesians 4:24. And that ye put on the new man, which after Yahweh is created in righteousness and true and holiness, to separate yourself from people. Let me go to 25. It says, wherefore putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Right, here we go. Be ye angry and sin not. So if you're gonna get angry, don't not sin. Control your emotions. It said, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Right? Here it comes. Neither give the place to the devil. There you go. There you go. So that's why a lot of us go to mental destruction, because we get over to our adversary. And Satan comes to devour who he seek is weak. So you got to be strong in all seasons. Hold on. So if you're not, these things will hinder you. These things will hurt you. You know, so that's just a positive message I want to give you guys, man. And to you sisters, man, if you're going through some mental pain and infliction and trauma that you're going through, just pray to the Most High, man. Pray to Yahweh Bashem Shai, and let the Lord heal you. Let the Lord deliver you. Because I know a lot of women go through a lot. A lot of our sisters go through a lot. You know, and I cuss the so-called black woman out a lot on this channel, man. It's because y'all doing too much. Y'all doing, and I don't really, it be niggas be doing shit too. I'm gonna get on them niggas too. I'm gonna start doing more videos of these motherfucking niggas that disrespectful. I'm gonna start getting videos on more of them niggas, because these niggas you be amping this shit up after the woman put a battery in back, and then you amp it up more. So I get on the one who's starting the shit first, which is the woman, and then I get on the niggas at times who do be starting or amping the shit up. I get at them when I do my videos. But most of the stories and testimonies is because of women doing shit and making stories for us to do. And when the more Esau do certain shit, we're gonna get on his ass too. Okay, he ain't done yet. He's a number one motherfucking culprit. The black woman is the second culprit. So that's what we got to deal with. And then the children that become demons, they're the third culprit. Okay, so we got to watch these type of animalistic behavior. You know, so you know, that's why I just want to get with you guys. Try not to sin when you're angry. You sin, you can't take that back. You can't take it back. If you do something out of anger, you can't. If you ain't so angry, if you commit murder off your anger, you can't bring that person back. You might get so mad one day, you might choke the shit out of a bitch and kill her. That happened to my friend when I was growing up. He committed murder. He killed his girlfriend and his daughter. I mean, and her daughter. That was his stepdaughter. He killed both of them. He strangled them. The nigga was going through anxiety. The nigga was going through mental stresses. He struggled. He strained the bitch out. He choked her out. And tried to make it sound like it was a suicide. But they found out it wasn't, because homicide detectives do this work all the time. But anyway, I hope the video was edifying. You know, if you're going through something, give it to the Lord, and the Lord will not place any burdens on you that you cannot bear. So I hope the video was edifying. Shalom.